But now it's time for us to move on to our special segment, which is Burnout Emergency Room with Mandy Cow. And in this segment, I'll be asking Mandy all the common burning questions related to burnout and mental health. So, Mandy, are you ready?
Ready?
All right. First common question. I'm stuck in a toxic workplace. What can I do?
I think first thing is to identify your own definition of success and your values. And by identifying those, you will pretty much know what you need to do.
The second question is, what do you do when you don't have 3 pairs of hands and 5 brains, but 7 different people are chasing you for different things they deem urgent?
Practice how to say no politely.
Yeah. And the next one, what to do when you have a manager who micromanages?
I think you should try to understand why she doesn't trust you, and maybe try to come from her perspective of, like understanding her daily life. I think always like trying to understand each other's would give each other's a little bit more empathy. But obviously, that wouldn't be a daily practice, right? I think like try to understand her a little bit more, and if it gets really out of the hand, then just try to speak to her. And just try to speak to her with empathy as well. Try to really communicate with her.
Yeah, I think one very useful tip other people have also mentioned is that don't think that you're powerless in this situation. Don't think that you're always the victim. You can always turn things around by maybe taking control. Let's say, hey, can we have a talk? I think we have an ongoing problem. Don't shy away from those difficult conversations.
100%. And I think it's not necessarily you're trying to confront your manager. It's just open communication. So every relationship, if a challenge comes, you kind of need to talk through it. If not, then, one side will be feeling, why am I being treated that way? And maybe the other side of the person, it's like a romantic relationship, right? Any kind of relationship needs communications, really. Like either with your parents, your friends, your colleague, and your manager will be not an exceptional relationship, I guess.
That's so true. I guess when it plays into that whole like Asian context, it's also a lot harder for people to talk about their feelings, or like even people in the workplace would think feelings have no place in the professional settings. But sometimes actually how your teammates feel can play a very critical part in terms of the overall productivity as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And the next one is, I don't have time for anything.
Make time for it. Make time for it. Like I think like when we start to have this thought, I don't have time for anything, it's really when you need to make time for it, because you're on the edge of really burning out. Like you really need to. But I think I've been through that. I went through a period of time where I was like, I really don't have time for anything. But I think it will get to a point where you realize, okay, I need to make time for something. And that's how I've basically started to be like, okay, I need to make 10 minutes every day just for meditation. I'll wake up 15 minutes earlier and just try to make time for it. But I think it depends on what phase you are. If you're not like seriously on the edge of burnout, probably you'll still be like, a little bit resistant, but probably will get to that point. But obviously you don't want to wait till you get to that point to realize this, right? So I guess having, like I said, like really straight answer is like try to just make time for it, because that's basically the first sign of your body and your mind telling you, you really need to make time for yourself. Yeah.
That's true. Meditate like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
And finally, I am so burnt out. Should I quit my job?
I think you need to first identify, I think it relates back to the first questions. You need to first identify your definition of success and your values. Then you'll be able to answer if you should quit your job or not. Like, are you truly enjoying your job? Does it really align with your value? Does it support your definition of success? If it does, then stick with your job. It probably will just be temporary, because obviously you love your job, and it gives you the what you want in life, right? But if it really doesn't align, then I think the answer is very clear.
Those are some really nice tips for you guys to digest. a little bit as you navigate through life and burnout. Thank you so much for answering all the questions in this segment.